This up.
Hey Slayers, what's up? It is your girl Tiana, aka the Swagslayer, creator of the Swagslayer Talk, live on YouTube, also streamed to the Swagslayer Facebook page with my lovely co-host Rhonda from the Pink Diva Studios. Definitely make sure you slay that subscription button, hit that notification bell, and share this video with one friend, because today we are going to be talking about NACA, a home buying program that doesn't require a credit check or a down payment. I know it sounds too good to be true. So we're going to go through some of the basics of the information, show you guys the website, and then you be the judge. If you like content like this, definitely let us know down in the comments. We do plan to do other things in the future on these types of topics. For example, Thursday at 12:30 p.m., we will be talking about the kitty condo loan. You ask, what is a kitty condo loan? Come back Thursday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you shall know.
I thought I was going to find out.
Yes, Rhonda just got that memo because we didn't talk about that till just
like,
now.
Yes, what is that? Okay, I'll have to come back Thursday.
So we are going to jump right into it. I want to say hello to Funny Cat Stories. What's up, girlfriend? Thank you for coming to hang out. I do also want to shout out my girl Thrifty Pia. I won this incredible shirt on Derek's show, Derek and Regina. I can't remember if it was on Derek's channel or Regina's channel, Fundamentals of Side Hustling, and Regina Michelle, because they rotate each week. But Thrifty Pia sent out this shirt that I won. I love it because I do have a Rugrat shirt. I actually have several, but they're all white. This one is like teal. I was like, yes. I even said in the comments before they said what the game was, I was like, I need to win that shirt. And then I did. I was like, yes. It was perfect. So
you did. I was like, okay, because I was like, oh, I love the Rugrats, but I legitimately love the Rugrats.
Reptar is the man. Reptar and Tommy.
I know you and the Reptar. Honey,
I love Reptar. And see, and if I was a Rugrat, I would marry Chucky. He's the perfect man. I was like, yes, Chucky, bring it with your red hair.
Chucky.
Yes, Chucky.
I like Chucky.
He's scared of everything.
I like all of them. I like all of them.
Chucky is scared of everything, but he will treat you like a queen. What's up, Tasha? Hey Lisa. Hello. So we are about to jump into it. Let me share my screen. So we are talking about NACA, which is a home buyer program. If you already own a home, I'm sure you know someone who wishes they had a home. So you can share this video with them and let them know kind of what you learned today and tell them to just take a look, because it says right on their website, and I'm going to go off the screen to the other screen. You know, I can't see. You have to let me know, Rhonda. So I'm going to just scroll to the good parts here. It does tell you the rates, but where is that? Because I'm used to looking at it on the mobile device.
The mobile device.
Yeah, where does it say? Because as soon as I open my mobile device, it says like no credit, no down payment. Maybe if it scrolls, because I do everything mobile. Dang it.
It does tell you no down. It does tell you no down payment right here.
I'm so silly. No down payment, no closing costs, no fees, and they have below market fixed rates. And if you're not familiar, again, we're not financial advisors, lawyers, real estate agents. We're none of those things. I'm just sharing the experience and the research that Ron and I have done on the program. So fixed rate mortgages are like, say you buy a house for $200,000, they're going to charge you 2.9% in interest. That's your rate. If it is not fixed rate, the rate can go up and or down, but let's be real. Stuff doesn't usually go down. It just goes up. So fixed rate is typically where people encourage you to be, because you don't want your payments to get higher, which could be called a balloon payment, where you start off paying $1,000 for your mortgage, but then over time, it turns into $1,200, $1,400, $1,500, $2,000. And that's not anything you really want, because if you're making more money later on and you can still pay $2,000, why wouldn't you want an additional $1,000 in your pocket because you're paying the original $1,000 because you got a fixed rate?
Oh my God, it just popped up. Like, what was going on?
Okay.
Oh my God.
So those are the main benefits and why people are attracted to the NACA program, because of these benefits that you get from participating. They do again show you today's rates on the screen, like, so you can see that. So you can go to the website, is NACA.com. It is in the description below. So you sign up, like, so on the first little tab, we go back, it says that you could sign up. The cool thing about this program, they don't just leave you hanging by yourself. You do take a class. So if you've ever taken a first-time homebuyers class, it's kind of like that. It's a full day. It's an all-day Saturday. First-time homebuyers class typically just teaches you about homes. Like, I took a first-time homebuyers class with my husband, and I learned so much. Like, even if you're not going to do a program, you have 20% to put down. You don't need any assistance. I still say take a first-time homebuyers class no matter what, because you learn so much about owning a home. So I learned in the class, because of course I took class before we bought the house, that high ceilings, like if you get really high ceilings, you know, they're beautiful, but I live in Florida. And your electricity bill is higher because your AC is running all the time trying to cool the entire house. And since heat rises, the higher your ceilings are, the more your AC has to run to try to cool the entire house. And so you're just going to be spending money for nothing because you got high ceilings. So I was like, oh, X that off the list. I don't need those vaulted ceilings. Goodbye. And so I did not buy a house with that for that reason. And I learned that in the class. I would have never thought of that if I hadn't gone to the class. So that's just one example of something that I learned. But the NACA has its own class, and what they do is they not only do the class, they give you a book. Lisa said, we started karaoke.
I know, right?
Yes. So if you don't know, Slayers, karaoke is going to be this Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the Swagslayer Fashion YouTube channel. It's going to be several of us coming out to sing. Disclaimer, we cannot sing. We're just going to have a good time. And hopefully we get Rhonda to sing, because she keeps acting like she don't want to sign up for a song. But that's for another day. So they do give you this booklet when you take the class. So my husband and I also took the NACA class. My husband and I do really like to learn different things and see what options are out there before we make a choice. Now, I will tell you, we did not complete the NACA program. We did start it because another opportunity that better fit our situation came along. And we just did that instead. It was like a boop, 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 done. And so we didn't finish the NACA program, but we got partway through it. So I'll kind of explain what it was like from our end. And you also don't have to pay the PMI, which I'll just briefly explain. PMI is insurance, which is so weird. It's insurance. Usually you pay car insurance. So if someone hits your car, you don't have to pay for it. Well, PMI is insurance that you pay for. So if you don't pay your mortgage, the bank still gets paid. So you're paying for something that you get no benefit out of. So they don't require PMI because it's backwards insurance. I'm paying for somebody else to get a benefit. Insurance is supposed to be you're paying so you get the benefit. So whatever. So it says no PMI here on the booklet. I'm sure it's somewhere also on the website. And then of course, again, it's no consideration of your credit score. No perfect credit is required. And this is not a program where your income, like you don't have to be low income for this program. You can, it doesn't matter. You could be low income, middle income, high income. This program doesn't have like an income requirement. So that is a really good thing. That's why we're talking about this one specifically and first, because anyone can participate in this. So you can purchase a home that's turnkey, ready to move in. You can purchase a fixer-upper home. So usually in the conventional market, if you buy a fixer-upper home, you typically are going to look at a 203K FHA loan, because it will take the assessment of the repairs, add it into your mortgage, and you'll make your mortgage payment with all of that added together and the interest, instead of getting two separate loans. So that's the advantage of a 203K. But you can do that through NACA. They don't call it that. They have a different type of name for that, because, of course, it's their own program. And you can do 30 years or 15 years fixed rate mortgage. In my personal opinion, you can pay your house off in 15 years, but take the 30-year mortgage. Why? Because something could happen in those 15 years, and then now you look crazy because you can't make the payments. You could get hurt. You could get laid off. But if you took a 30-year mortgage and then you just you 2.5 times your mortgage, and you just pay it 2.5 times your mortgage payment, then you will be able to pay it off in 15 years. So you just want to, but if something happened, then you're still good. You don't have to
have that safety net.
Exactly. And technically there is this video that I'll share it. I'll probably put it in my milkshake because I have to find it. It's from several years ago. The information is still pertinent and relevant. You can actually pay your house off in 7 years, girl. Yes, but you gotta also have a partner who's like, yes, let's do that, because if you don't, then you ain't paying nothing off in 7 years. So anyway, okay. So there's an index in the book. I'm looking at the book on my computer, you guys. So there's an index in the book. It's the summary, the history, the program overview, what they do, how they get their funding, different things like that. But when you go in to meet with your representative, because that yellow book I showed you, you got at that Saturday day class, which was like 6 hours. And it really is full of information. But then when you go meet your counselor that they connect you with, you will talk about your personal situation. And so what they typically want is to see that you've been able to pay your bills for the last 12 months. You weren't late on anything. Everything was paid. And then you still were able to put money in your savings account. So Lisa says, let me get the ring, and then we are paying a house off in 7 years. Yes. Right. Girl, I want to celebrate. Okay. Let us know. And then they also tell you all the offices they have in the United States in case you start the program in one place, but then you want to move or buy a house somewhere else. They can work with you in different states. So it's not just Florida, of course, but so when you meet with a person, they make sure my personal information. Okay, so you get this packet. I was like, girl, I'm on the live. I can't edit that out. You get a packet. So this is the packet my husband and I got. All our personal information is on here, so I'm not going to show it to you. But on the front, it's called an action plan. They gave us like a budget, which we already had, but our agent typed up for us pretty much what we have because we've always lived by budget. And then it kind of showed like your debt to income ratio, different things like that, and just kind of gave you a plan on where you want it to be. Now, just because your credit does not count with them, they are still going to run your credit because they want to help you make it better, make better choices, because this is not their program is why I like it. It's not just about buying a house. It's helping you grow in the financial aspect, like how you handle your finances, which is a better way. How can you get your credit, to where you want it to be? Like they're working with you so you could be a better you, or you and your partner could be better, together, whatever that is. So it's not just buying the house. It's really a process to help you get to where you want to be, because you tell them, what your goals and desires are. And then they go over like what price points you kind of want to stay in and kind of what that would look like, because you do then pay property tax. You do pay insurance. Like you pay all of those things that you don't pay if you rent. So they go over that with you.
Preparing you for what you need to pay.
Correct. So in the packet, it goes over membership benefits. It says NACA provides an extensive array of benefits for all the members. A primary benefit includes one-on-one counseling by a housing or mortgage counselor. For both home buyers and homeowners, participating members have access to NACA's best mortgage in America with the following extraordinary terms: no down payment, no closing costs, no fees, and at the below market fixed interest rate. For home saving members with an unaffordable mortgage, NACA has been extremely successful in working with services, investors, and changing mortgage terms and making mortgages affordable. NACA provides the details of these and other NACA programs in the written materials, which are for guidance purposes. NACA in its sole discretion may make changes as it determines appropriate. And that just says, over time they can make changes to their program. But of course, they don't just spring anything on you. That just lets you know if something changes, you'll be notified. So not only do they work with people who are already in a mortgage, who want to get an affordable mortgage, but people who are already in a mortgage that's not affordable, so they can help you with that. What's up, Terry? Thank you, girl, for joining and coming to learn all about NACA. So that's in the packet. It talks about participating members, but I love that the program is not just for people who bought a house using the program, but also people who didn't and need help. So that is a good thing to know. Say you already have a house that is, not affordable. You can reach out to NACA for help in that regard as well. So again, you do go to the class. Now, this is the cool thing because I've talked to my daughter about this, and we'll talk more about it on Thursday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on the Swagslayer Fashion YouTube channel for the Swagslayer Talk when we talk about kitty condos. But NACA does allow you to purchase, technically, I guess it's not a single family home, but it's not, I guess it is a multi-family home. They do have another word for it that I can't think of, because typically a single family home is one home, it's not separated. A multi-family home, most people think of apartments, which is one building, but a different unit. But for loan's sake, outside of NACA and inside of NACA, you can purchase up to a quadruplex, which is one building that has 4 units in it, and still be considered a home for an individual or family. So again,
I do remember this.
Yes. Disclaimer, I am not a real estate agent, lawyer, financial advisor, or I'm just sharing my experience that I've had with this program and looking for a house. So if you want to live for free, I know this sounds like that's not real. This is a ripoff. You can't live for free, blah, blah, blah. That is not true. You can live for free. This is how it works. Since you can buy up to a quadruplex, which means you can buy a duplex, a triplex, or a quadruplex. If you're not familiar with those words, a duplex is 2 houses under one roof. Triplex is 3 homes under one roof, or 3 units. A quadruplex, like I said, is 4 under one roof. It's in one building. So NACA does allow for that. You do have to take an additional Saturday class. It might be on a weekday for that class because we didn't get that far. We were going to, but we didn't get that far. What's up, Derek? Good morning. Thanks for hanging out and coming to learn about NACA. Share this video, of course, with one person. If you own a home, I know you know someone who does it. So what you do is you purchase the building. We're just going to call it a building with the 2, 3, or 4 units. You live in one, of course, with yourself, your family, whatever your living situation is, and then you rent out the other one. So NACA allows you to do a, why is the word escaping me right now? A landlord class. So there's another class that you would do for landlords. So they will train you on how to be a landlord, what to expect, what to look for, things that, you wouldn't have thought of because you've never been a landlord. However, if you really don't want, now you have to do the class if you do it with NACA, but if you really just do not want to actually handle that, you can always hire a third-party company that takes care of it. They're called property managers. All of us have heard of a property manager because I'm sure at one point or another, we've rented something, someone we live with rented something, someone we know rented, and the property manager is a person that comes when you won't pay your rent, or you call them, or, they call the maintenance guy when you call them and say, hey, my water's not working, they call the maintenance guy. That's the property manager. And you would pay the property manager a percentage of the rent collected every month. So then you don't have to deal with the tenants. The property manager handles that. And then you don't have to tell the tenant that you own that unit as well. So they're not in your face like, I don't want to pay my rent, blah, blah, blah. You know how tenants are. We've all been one. We've all seen one. And then you can just live your life and collect that check. Now, how that works is when your tenant, say you have a duplex, pays their rent, you just pay your mortgage. And then you pay your property manager if you choose to have one, if you choose not to be one. And then any money left over is profit. That's your ROI, your return on your investment. Where this gets really, really lucrative is when you have a triplex or a quadruplex, because yes, you do have to pay more for a quad or a tri. Typically, a duplex is going to run about the same price as a house. So you're not really coming out the pocket that much more. It's about the same. But a triplex or quad is definitely going to cost more. It's so much more building to maintain and to pay for. However, then you'll be collecting rent twice or 3 times, depending on which one you buy. So then your ROI is even more. So you really have passive income, because I know a lot of slayers that watch, we're resellers, and people say, I don't know, these people don't know the definition of passive because they say, oh, reselling is passive income. No, boo.
No.
Did you take pictures of that item? Did you ship that item?
Right.
Passive means
did you have to wash that and clean that item?
Right. Passive is I ain't do a darn thing today, but
right.
that
I was
check
sleeping.
still hit my bank. Right.
I was sleeping. That's passive to me. I was sleeping and bam.
That was the money. Okay. Show me the money. Okay. Like that.
Right. All that. Hey, Regina.
Yes. What's up, Regina girl? I was just talking about your show and Derek's show earlier. I have on the Thrifty Pia shirt that she sent me that I won on the show. Okay. Lisa was saying, this is what I used to do for commercial property manager. Yeah. So Lisa was a property manager for 13 years. So you would hire someone like Lisa, not now, because she said I resell for a living. Don't hire me for that. But you would hire someone who manages your property so you don't have to, because you have a life. You don't always want to be the one dealing with the tenant. Tenants can be ridiculous. We all know that. So just hire someone to do it, because even at the end of the day, if the profit or the ROI you would have made on having that tenant in a duplex building has to go to the property manager, you still have the benefit of living for free. You don't have to come out of your pocket to pay the mortgage because your tenant is doing it for you. Ain't nothing like not paying mortgage. Like, that is our biggest expense, our living expense. So if you can cut that out, do it. So the point of that is NACA does offer that for you, so you can still be in that great situation going through the NACA program. There are other commercial loans that don't offer that, or don't at least guide you through if they do, because some offer it, but they don't guide you through. NACA, again, sits down with you. You take a separate class from the regular class, and then you have that housing counselor that I was talking about earlier that will walk you through that process to make sure that you have it together. I mean, they walk you through step by step. It's almost like just having a coach saying, this is where you should go. This is what you should do. Look for this. Make sure you do that. Oh, I see you didn't do it. We got to go back. Like
Right.
They check on you. What is up, Ella?
Ella.
Oh, thanks, Regina. Yes, it's so awesome. I love the teal. So that is another thing that you want to be aware of with the NACA. You definitely want to look at that in the brochure. Well, it's not a brochure because it's a workbook. That they give you a whole book. It goes over the history of NACA. It started in 1988, and of course, it is still going on today. They have a counseling department, which you'll work on one-on-one. They have a mortgage department, and they have a real estate department. That way they have all the components that you need to help you through this home buying process. I'm flipping through the book to make sure I don't leave anything out, because everything is not on the website. Even though I was sharing the website earlier, this extra information you only get in this book when you take the class. That's how I got it. We took the class several years ago.
So let's
yes.
I don't know if you covered this. No, I don't think you did. But but I know I want to kind of talk about pricing. And I know here it says that your purchase price plus any repair escrow funds. So the example would be funds for repairs to be completed after closing, and that cannot exceed your approved maximum mortgage amount or the current conforming loan limits. Okay, the current loan limits are $484,350 for a single family.
Yeah,
I was like, whew, that's cute. Because I mean, really and truly, if you're just like me, single.
Yes.
But and say for instance, my granddaughter and I. So, I'm wondering, now from my understanding, you can take the max that they have to offer.
Yeah.
But, I, not wanting to be adding fuel to fire, would not.
Right.
I would want something lower, especially, I mean, right at my age, I definitely would want something lower, because I'm not, I would be leaving that for her.
Yes.
And want, her to have a, secured spot.
Yes.
But,
her own
her own place. But now, does this just apply to like a home?
Yes. So that is just, go ahead.
Okay. Or can you apply it to like what you were speaking of, like a duplex? Could you apply it to any? So I just kind of want to know if it applies to other dwellings.
Yes. So that amount on the website is just for one single family home, one home under one roof. So what we typically know as a home, because NACA does not advertise that they allow that program. That's not on their website, because most people come because they just want a regular house. They don't even know. It's never even crossed their mind. They have no idea. They briefly mention it in the class that you go to after you sign up. But if you really, and that's why I'm mentioning it now, because you're not going to really find that anywhere on what they're talking about. It's briefly mentioned in the class. And then if you want to do that, once you get through a certain portion of the program, then you have the opportunity. So I don't know how many months or what the track is, but once they know, okay, you're consistent with this, this, and this, and that, then it's something they'll discuss further with you, because it's like baby steps. It's like, look, you can't run and try to be a landlord when you're having trouble crawling right now. You know what I'm saying? So let's get you crawling, then walking, and then running. So that's kind of the flow it goes in. So that price that you said is for just one home, and it is based on your income, of course. So everyone doesn't qualify for that full amount, because it's based on your income, because they want to make sure you can comfortably make that mortgage payment and you're not stressed out. Like you said, don't add fuel to any fire. Right. And that it's a fix, it's working for you and your family, or whoever you have, your living situation in your home. So that was a really good question, because of course the amounts for duplex, quadruplex, and triplex would be much more, and depending on where you live, because some people can get a triplex for $400,000. Now if you live in California, you're lucky to get a house, a regular house.
You're lucky to get an apartment in a good part of the city. You can get an apartment, but is it in the good part of the city?
Yeah, right. So
I've seen some of those living areas.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So I know that, so I was just kind of looking at what they were saying. Of course, you attend the home buyer virtual workshop.
Yes.
So, you prepare your web file for your first appointment with a NACA counselor.
Correct.
So this is you bringing in and setting up all your business, because they all up in your business.
Yes.
So, and so now the qualifications are.
What do they say, darling?
Well, darling, they didn't give me much right here, but let me see if they'll give me a little more. I don't think they will, because it was just pretty much what you were saying. Work with your counselor to improve your financial management. Now, this is my thing. Now, while they're going through, because I know, that they are looking at your credit, even though they say that doesn't apply, like you said.
Right.
So I know that they go through that. They help you kind of get that in line. They want you to pay off this, pay off that, pay off that. Now, look. So when it comes to, because, I'm not going to say all of us, but some of us, have school loans. I'm some.
Right.
So,
me too.
I'm some. So, how do they, because I don't think that they even include that.
No,
when they're looking. I think this is like credit cards or credit card debt or something like that they're looking at.
And mainly with NACA, and they say that your credit score isn't the thing. It really isn't. They pull your credit because they want to help you, because other people are going to want your credit, but they want to see that you're paying everything every month consistently. So they actually go back. And so what we did was we pulled our bills from some time back and brought them to them. And they saw, okay, we've been paying everything for 6 months already. I think we had to pull a year. I can't remember. Let's just say 6 months. And then you pay for another 6 months. They want to see that you have a 12-month track record where you've paid everything on time. You didn't have to pay a late fee. You didn't skip paying something, that you paid everything for 12 months. Because if you can pay everything for 12 months and are still able to save the amount that they ask you to save when your counselor comes in based on your personal situation, then you qualify with them to purchase a home.
Okay, so now would this apply? Let me just see. I don't think I complete your credit. Okay, obtain your lender approval and closing on your home. Okay. Well, my question is, who exactly qualifies for this? Because that's something I need to look up. But
anyone, because they don't have like a. Remember, I was saying you don't have to be low income, medium income, high income. This program is for any human, who has income and pays their bills on time.
Okay, well, yeah, and I got that, you know, you don't have to be income and all that. But what if you're on a fixed income?
Right.
You're getting disability, you're getting Social Security, you're getting, you know, things like that.
I guess, and so that I can't answer completely, but I know they do look at your monthly bills compared to the income you have coming in. Do you have enough left over to then pay a mortgage? Because typically those people are paying rent somewhere. So let's just say someone's rent is $1,000, right? So can you realistically pay $700? Because typically your mortgage is going to be less than your rent. I mean, that's how it is in most places. So say your mortgage is in $700, that additional $300 if you save for, you know, home maintenance. And when I say your mortgage, I mean that would include your property tax, your insurance, and your mortgage payment. Usually that's all lumped together in what they call a mortgage. And then you'd have $300 to put to the side for home maintenance, because a house has maintenance. There ain't nobody to call, boo, to be like, hey, can you go fix my toilet? You better call yourself.
Right.
You gotta fix the toilet. Tyrone is not coming to fix your toilet.
That's your bill. That's your bill.
So that I can't speak to that, because again, when you speak with your counselor, everybody's situation is so different. The counselor would be able to let you know how that would work, because again, you know, mortgage is typically less than rent. And if you have the income to cover, you know, all your basics, and then still could cover a mortgage and still have money saved, because I know they want you to be able to save money each month for those home repairs. What's up, Christy girl? Hey.
Okay. Hey, Christy. So
that would be something to talk to the counselor for sure.
Right. And so I was
why did Lisa put plus and minus? I'm so confused. I don't know, Stephanie.
So I was reading this criteria. It says member or anyone in the household cannot own another property.
Correct.
When they close on the NACA mortgage. So you can't be owning other properties, which they would have found that out anyway, because it's gonna, you know, it's gonna pull up.
Yeah.
And it says member must occupy a home as long as they have a mortgage obtained through NACA. Correct. Well, that makes sense. And members need to participate in whatever way they feel comfortable.
Yes. So NACA, because NACA is a program that's built on the community. I might be on the wrong page. Let me find it. They do ask. So when we filled out our action plan, so this was a couple years back, it might be a little bit different, but it says participant commitment. So we could work with our church, community organization, employer, union, organization to increase participation in the NACA program and or outreach. We could place a yard sign at our property to promote the NACA program. Volunteer at the NACA class, like the class I went to, there were people who handed out books and stuff, so you could volunteer for that. Coordinate a NACA skills directory, which identifies people who would provide services as assistants to NACA. So like contractors, stuff like that. Participate in a peer lending committee where we would just sit on and encourage other people who are going through the same process we just went through once we finished. So it's basically just, you know, it's like the posh community kind of. You just come together and you help other people.
Giving back to the community and service. I got it.
Correct.
So of course, you know, they talked about the policies. Members must adhere to the NACA policies and procedures. So here it says something about priority members.
And
it says members and like borrowers and co-borrowers whose combined income is less than the median family income for the MSA where they are purchasing a home. Okay.
Right. So that's a little different. And your counselor, we get into that. I don't know about that.
Look, I don't either. So we're just going to keep it moving. Stuff. But that's why I was curious about who can qualify.
Right.
Because, you know, everybody, of course, you know, as we know, and you've said already that everyone's income is so different.
It is.
And so you don't have to be necessarily on low income, or you could be up here somewhere.
Yeah, I mean,
But
this program, people, if you could be making millions of dollars and still participate in NACA, like they have no income restriction. So
so I think that I really do, because we know someone who's going through this, and so I really, just based on everything that I've heard her say, I mean, I really do think it's a good program.
yeah,
I think that as I said before, that I even mentioned it to a relative of mine, and they were just like, "Oh, they're gonna be all up in your business, girl."
but
Well,
that's every mortgage,
if you wanna buy a home,
right?
they're gonna be in your business.
Right.
They're almost in your business if you just want a car.
Facts.
You
Don't
know,
try to rent something.
don't try to do it. I mean, even to lease a car, they almost
Yeah.
want your blood type. So, I'm just saying that that's a small that's the smallest thing you can do. I mean,
Correct.
because they're in your business, from my understanding. They're in your business. Not only do they want you to get this home, but they want to help you clean up your credit, learn to be more responsible, learn
Yes.
to do all these other things. And I think that is I can't even find fault with that.
Right.
And then you're coming out of it with a nice home that you've picked
That you
out. They didn't assign to you.
Right.
That you picked out, and
Correct.
that you get to decorate. You get to
Yep.
pay for this home.
Yep.
And not only that, this is something that you are paying on that's going to be yours.
You own it.
An apartment is not yours, honey.
It is not.
You just give it up, because look, every month
You're paying somebody else's mortgage.
Yeah, I'm paying somebody. I sure am. And I need to ask them to I need an invite to their house so I can see what I'm paying for. But I mean, you're just giving it over to other big companies.
Correct. And sometimes small people like us. And this is why, back to the point where you said, when you read that they have to live in the house as long as they have a NACA mortgage. Correct. So why not let somebody else pay your mortgage and get a duplex, a triplex, or a quadruplex? It may not be your dream home, but if you're able to pay it off faster, then you own it outright, and you can still be generating that money and move to your dream home and still let your tenants pay for that. And that's what I want to stress so much. I think we get in this box that they say, oh, buy your dream home. It's this big old fancy house, blah, blah, blah. And your house rich, but you more money broke. You don't have no generational wealth. You ain't got nothing. You struggling. And then because you didn't learn how to do better, you didn't teach the ones after you how to do better, they're not going to take care of that house when you're gone. Let's be real. How many people do we know? They ain't got to be a part of our family, but you done seen somebody so-and-so left them house, this and that thing looked like the crack house now because nobody was taught what to do, how to do it. It's falling apart, and they use all their time, energy, money, and sacrifice to leave it for them. For what? Leave them some education. And the way you can leave them some education so they can do better is for you to become educated yourself. That's all you can do, because if you leave the stuff without the knowledge, the stuff is just going to be ate up or stolen from them by someone else. That's how, that's how the planet works. Let's get real. Yep, so true. I highly encourage, and the reason we talked about this program is because it does allow for you to, one, be walked through step by step, have your hand held by a counselor to get to the place that you'd like to be financially and purchasing something that is yours. But not only being able to do that, but to be able to live for free in a duplex, triplex, or a quadruplex. So nothing like free income. I'm going to drop a link, 2 links actually, in my milkshake later on today. One will be a video by a financial advisor and a lawyer who will explain the process of how multi-unit buildings work. And then one will be a lady, which when she made the video, I don't think she was anybody, but now I think because of that video became really popular, she's done something else with her life and, might be a guru in something. I don't follow her, but that was the first time it opened my eyes that you could pay your 30-year mortgage off in 7 years? Cut it out.
So yes,
that's
what you can use.
Yes. I'll drop both of those in my milkshake later today, which is just the link in my bio, which is also the link in my description. So you guys can check those out. So you can hear from someone else who is the expert in that field, because I am just talking to you. Rhonda and I are just talking to you from the research that she did and the experience that I had. So sometimes it is good to hear from an actual expert.
Yes, indeedy, feed the needy. Christy, you are so right. That is the longest process, is finding a home that has no issues.
Yes. And you can do new construction with NACA. So you don't have to buy a pre-built home. You can do new construction if you like. So that is also an option. New construction homes do have issues too. Lord Jesus, my AC stopped working the other day and I was like, excuse me, what? We just got that. So,
right. I mean, they have issues too, because sometimes, they put them up so fast. It's like, oh, what? Now that's finished. Oh, okay.
Right.
I mean, they pop them up so fast. I can't see them not having some small issue or some type of issue. But I think this is a great program for those who are looking to own a home.
Yes.
And it just shows that, you can. I mean, it just shows that the possibility is there that, for you to do so.
Yeah, it is. And there, you don't have to use the NACA program, of course. This is one of many. We started the NACA program, myself and my husband, and we did not finish it because there was another opportunity that we had that just would fit our situation better. So we went with that. But if that opportunity didn't come along, we would have done the full NACA program. And sometimes I look back and think, I should have just done the NACA program and got a triplex. But, you live and you learn. Yeah. These children make you think to do something else, and then they act crazy. And you're like, I should have just left you back there and did what I wanted to do. And then say, you're going to live here and go to this terrible school. But
right.
You don't do that, of course, as a parent.
No.
But so we bought a property in an A school district. No matter how they rezone our area, all the schools are outstanding. So, I mean, that's why we decided to do this instead. But if I did not have a child and school was not a thing, I would have just, finished NACA and waited longer to get the property and then just bought a multifamily property. But one day she'll be grown.
Well, yeah. She will be. And then you're going to be all sad.
Yeah, I mean, that could happen. I used to tell my husband, that ain't gonna be me, that's gonna be you. But now
it's gonna be both of y'all.
Well, maybe. Now that she's been home for a year, I'm already like, you're going back? No, don't leave me. Because I see her every day. We eat together, we play together. And so I'm just like, what? But she's changing too, y'all. She's about to be 12. And yesterday, I had to walk out of her room because I was like, we finna have a small vigil because that girl, I said, okay.
It's coming. See, that's that change on the way. Let me tell you, I told you and Regina that it happens, honey. One day one night you're like, okay, sweetie, good night. And they're like, I love you. Oh, I love you too. You're going through all that. And the next morning you wake up, you be like, what?
Right. Because you don't pay no bills, you don't feed yourself, and you think
like, who are you talking to?
Not do what I just told you to do.
Oh, so you want to do things in your own time? Oh, okay. Right. Well, check how I'm gonna do things in my own time: cooking, washing, taking you somewhere.
Oh no!
Treating you to this, that, and the other.
Right now, I just bought her new cell phone.
Oh no!
Just bought her new phone. Right? She had that taken. Took the Echo out of her room, took the tablet, almost took the bed, but my husband said that was too much.
No, that's too much.
What? Listen. If you don't do what I tell you to do and learn it here while I take care of you, you'll be sleeping in the grass in the woods. There won't be no carpet.
Ma'am, I'm trying to keep you out of child protective service coming to your house knocking on the door. So
that is true. You can't take your child's bed. That's fact.
No, you can't take the bed
Don't
down.
do that.
Don't do that. Because, honey, trust and believe I've had. But now, on the real, one of my good friends as well, honey, took the door off the hinges
I'm not mad.
Every electronic was stripped from the room.
Yes.
I was like, "Ooh, child, y'all be doing it, don't you? Taking doors off, and they don't deserve privacy." I'm like,
look, they don't know
well,
how to act.
I don't know. Look, I'm speaking from a only child, so let me say that I never had the hinges taken off my door, but could only after I got to be a certain age, I could close my door, but I routinely had to leave my door open. I don't care if it was me; it was just me in there. But after I reached
only close the door when she's getting dressed. If she's not getting dressed, that door need to be open. What you doing in here that I can't see when I walk by? Okay.
And I just laugh about that because I never really even thought about that whole thing. But when I think about it now, I'm like, okay, I guess that makes sense. Keep your door open or whatever. But like I say again, once I got to be a teen, I was able to close my door and things.
No.
But and have privacy. But yeah,
not happening.
I didn't really. My parents didn't really stress me about stuff like that, which probably they should have because, child, at the wall.
Exactly. I know who I was, and my daughter is very much like me. So no, you cannot.
Oh, I don't do not having Chris. I don't care if you are on punishment. Christmas and birthdays are celebrated.
No, I understand, Lisa. So I'm going to read it. It says, 1 year, my sons didn't get their Christmas gifts for 3 weeks because they had one stipulation to get them and they wanted to drag their feet thinking I would give it. Not this, Mama. I'm not mad at you because you're pushing the boundary and it's not about me and children. That's not what it's about. If I say it's this and then I let you get away with it, when you get out in the real world, nobody care. So you need to learn here with someone who loves you. I said it was this, it's going to be this. Because when you get out there, it's going to be that.
I wholeheartedly agree. No, I wholeheartedly agree because I tell you that I prepared my kiddo for that. I prepared and still preparing, my granddaughter for that because I'm going to tell you, while you're up here and Gigi's this and we have all these conversations, whatever. I'm gonna tell you, honey, when you walk out that door, the world is something different because the world don't owe you a thing.
No, it doesn't care. Nothing about you.
It's best that you know that not to be expecting for the red carpet to roll out for you, for the doors to just magically open for you. It's not going to happen. I've been there. I've lived that life. That is pretty much how I was raised. That the world owed me something, so I went on like that for years until I had my daughter, and then just kind of I don't know if the light bulb came on or what or just the mirror. Maybe it happened because I was taking care of her on a daily basis. I was doing this. Now I did have backup because my parents were there. A grandparent, I had a whole village if I needed it. But I really came into my own after I had her because before that, child, it was my way on the highway, honey. Who are you speaking to? You don't know who I am, all that kind of, thing like that. But I had my own boundaries. I had my own limits, but in turn, which probably is a mistake now, I did have, raise my daughter to speak her mind. Now, sometimes, honey, I'd be like, girl, there's some things that you just, come on now. But
I understand
she knows. She went to the school of hard knocks.
Right. That's important.
So, and then things she learned on her own, drew her back to things I had already told her. I mean, there was no conversation that was unsafe. We talked about it all, honey. We talked about
and you have to.
This, that, and how people live, how people don't owe you anything.
You have to. Because you don't want her peers to teach her something because they don't even really know. So here's the blind leading the blind. You need to come talk to me about it. I'll show you in an educational way. Like we'll use the actual terms, whatever we got to do. And to make sure So when your little friend down the street is telling you XYZ, you're not like, what? Mm-hmm. And
I mean, I didn't pull no part. And I was that way with her and my granddaughter, simply
Correct.
because I knew how my parents had me walking around in colored lenses, like I was the Queen of England or something. Like you're just all, and I appreciate
Yes.
the pump up though. You see what I'm
Yes.
saying? Because in that pump up, it did teach me that I could do things. I could be
Right.
what I wanted to be. I could, but that underlying, like, oh, you don't have to worry about that. Oh, you don't have to worry about this. That's what I'm talking about. I
Yeah.
appreciate the uplifting and the push-ups. But baby, that underlying thing, like, oh, we shop here. So, you know, but it just wasn't. And my mom was trying to do that to my daughter. I was like, hold up. I don't want to think I'm gonna be going to Neiman shopping every day.
And it's true, but I think each generation is a little different because we learned something. So even I have it here, but even the other day, my little one has a watch and the strap was broken. So she had to call customer service, tell them what was wrong, and get a resolution. She didn't want to. Oh, well, who gonna call for you when you grown? Not me. You gonna have to call for yourself. So she called. Then she had to go to our cell phone provider store and get the SIM card for the phone I had just given her, because we know where the SIM card was for the other one. And she had to talk to the man. And she was like, I don't want to talk to him, Mom, but she did. And so she did very well. And so as a reward, I took her to one of her favorite stores. And this is how I know she's changing. And she always starts to change a few months before her birthday. She want to go to the store every time we see it. I don't care where we driving down the street. She will see it out the window and be like, oh my God, and say the name of the store, right? So annoying. So I take her, and she was having the hardest time finding something. She usually goes to the toy section first. And as she walked through the toy aisle, she just looked so disappointed. Her arms are crossed, and she was just like, as she walked
nothing in here. I don't like none of this.
Right. And I was like, oh my God, it's coming. And so I was just observing. And then they even have clothes in there. They have all kinds of stuff. She couldn't find nothing. And I was like, baby girl, you got to pick something because I have a meeting to go to. I got to get back home. She was like, okay, I guess I'll get this book. First of all, she bought a book.
Girl, and you got to get the book.
So that's how I know she's growing, because any other time she would have bought a toy. So, but this book was about growing up. I pointed it out to her. I said, well, what about this book? You're kind of going, you're about to transition into that. You're headed to middle school. And there were topics about, am I cool? This and that, whatever. One of the topics was love and relationships. And I already knew. I said, oh, Lord, this is going to be the first topic she reads. We got home. I went to my meeting online. When we came back, she was like, Mom. I was like, hey, what's up? Right? She was like, I was in my room reading that book. I was like, yeah. She was like, guess what chapter I read? And I just started laughing because I already knew. It's the love and relationship chapter. She read the whole thing. She didn't read no other part, because she has been asking me lately, like, what's my type? What was my type when I was a little girl? I didn't have no type when I was a little girl. I was a child, okay? I was playing on the playground. I played sports. I had no type. What are you talking about? So she is one that I'm going to have to approach, a little differently now. We've already had to talk. We had to talk since she was 5, and I just changed the terminology. Now she knows the right terminology. And
seeds and plants.
Yes, the seed in the pot, baby. It's going to grow you a tree, which is the baby. Yeah, yeah.
I love it. Well, and I think that is something that needs to be discussed. I mean, as a kid, I don't think that I necessarily, was even thinking about that. But going into middle school, of course, you are kind of thinking about that.
You asked where do babies come from when you were a child, Rhonda. I'm sure you said, where do babies come from?
Oh, I don't ever remember saying that.
Of course not.
It was just and the reason I say that, I'm sure I did as a younger child. But at one point, my mom was the kind of mom, she didn't really want her discussion about sex was keep your dress down, your legs crossed. But until she gave me this whole series of books, I came home from school, and here she goes, there it is on my bed, Life Cycle, I think is the name of it. And then, she was like, I guess she expected me to read it. Now I did read it. And then even when I was in, I think it was like 5th or 6th grade, we did have I was in private school then. So we
Yes.
did have to have a signed piece of paper saying that we could have this sex education
Yep.
class.
Fifth grade.
Had a book, you know, and all that kind of
we
stuff.
had a video.
Yeah, but had a video as well.
Okay.
But I mean, yeah, of course, I'm sure like any other young kid, like where babies come from. I just, of course, don't even remember that. But I think even when it comes to going into middle school, I think that, yeah, at that time you do start kind of thinking about, you know, or you see somebody and be like, ooh, you know, because my thing was light skinned boys at the time. And you know, I was like, that's, you know, I thought that was my flavor.
Yes.
And then of course later on in life, you know, my baby daddy ain't nowhere in the light yet. But but you know, I mean, I just think that, you know, at that age you just start talking. You have to talk.
Yes.
And I mean, even more so. Not that you didn't start young, but I'm saying even more so.
Yes.
You know, they need to know about all the nastiness that comes along with that.
Yeah, we've talked about STDs, and I showed her the pictures because I took that education class in 5th grade, but then I think it was 6th grade that they taught us. Yes, child, this girl from some. Yes. They taught us about.
You be killing me, I swear.
I'm not mad at Christy. Hey.
Like, how did you get here? Okay.
But in science class, they taught us about the STDs in 6th grade. And when they showed me that cauliflower looking thing, I say, oh, I don't ever.
I do remember watching that video.
Baby, girl.
I was like, what? This is nasty.
I don't want cauliflower on my genitals, bro. Like, I will just abstain. I mean, I was still a virgin, of course, but I was like, I would just abstain from sex until I get married, and then I'll get my husband tested, and I'll get tested, and then we'll be good, and hopefully he'll stay faithful, because I don't want cauliflower. Cauliflower is to go in a skillet to be cooked with other vegetables. I was so messed up.
And I don't even like.
I never had to ask me.
I don't even like cauliflower.
Ooh,
honey, I will never forget seeing all the. I mean, it's just still in my mind when I talk about it. I still see all that, and I was just like, "Oh my God, this is gross."
Yes.
But you know, I want to just say a disclaimer. When I was talking about my childhood, is that I was very blessed. I was adopted. I was an only child. I love my parents. You know, I mean, my parents did spoil me. Yes, I'm not going to lie about that. But
that's what you do with single children. I've done the same thing. It was terrible.
I was terribly spoiled. But you know, and I know that they did the best that they could do. Is
because Topher that came in, he don't know what we talking about. I'm not gonna repeat it, Topher. You don't even want to know. If you want to know, you'll watch the replay, but you don't want to know.
But you know, I think that, you know, you learn from your parents what to do, how to carry yourself, how to treat people, how to speak to people, all these things. How to, you know, my dad, I never forget my dad told me how to, you know, when you meet people, you need to shake their hands.
Yes.
And I was like, what? Shaking hands, you know. But I'm telling you that one piece of advice took me a long way.
It did. My uncle told me that.
I knew how to walk into a place for an interview, shake someone's hand, speak to them, greet them, shake their hand, you know, and sell myself, present myself. So I learned all these fabulous things from my dad, because my dad was, you know, in the workplace. My dad had like at least 2 to 4 jobs at one time. So, you know, I tell you that I learned a lot, but I think that the negative part of it was just raising me to act like I'm the queen bee.
Yeah, but I think, you know, when parents have only one child and they're only going to have one child, like you kind of lean to that. And especially that your parents adopted you, that probably means at some point they could not birth one of their own. So they were so happy to have you that they just were said, forget the boundary of, you know, we don't care, because they were so excited to have you in their life.
You know what? And that's how I have looked at it after, you know, a long time. I just think that, you know, when with a situation like that, when I'm adopted, I'm the only child, all that focus is where?
Right. And because they waited so long.
And it's just, and it's a good thing. But I still think that, you know, even with my only child, all the things that I learned on the surface,
Yeah.
passed on.
Yep.
That underlying business, no, I'm not fixing to do that.
Because you learned, and to be honest, your parents probably knew, but it just brought them so much joy that they said, we're going to do all these other good things and pour those good things into, because we're, as parents, we're going to screw something up. They just decided the thing they were going to screw up. That's all. All the rest of them don't get to decide. We're just like, And
that's true. I mean, because honey, let me tell you, honey, Roy and Dorothy, honey, they was something else. But, and I appreciate everything, and stuff. But that is the one thing I have to say about my childhood that I wish that I'd have skipped out on, because I was walking around in the days, honey, like I was in a bubble, just rolling down the street, just doing my own thing. Oh, that's a song. But I just thought about it when I said it. That was some escape right there. But I was just oblivious to other things.
Yeah.
And just thinking, well, what do you mean I can't have that? Oh, what is there a manager?
Listen,
I mean, that's me.
I wasn't spoiled by any means. Okay, my dad died before I was born. My mom had multiple sclerosis, so she was like, literally, I wrote the checks at the grocery store because she couldn't write, and still, some kind of way, I ended up the same way. So I don't know, because it became, I was like, way later in life where I was like, this is not how life works. Even my husband, before he was my husband, he was like, you live in a world everybody else doesn't live in. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, I had no idea that. This is not how life works for everyone else. It was like,
but because everyone else didn't deserve it. That's why. See, that would be my comeback at the time. But I was. People told me that too. They were like, "Oh my God, aren't you too old to be living in this fantasy world? This, that, and other. You just live like a princess. You just think like a princess. You just, well, I was like, well, I mean, what's wrong with that? I mean, that was just, was just my normal. I was like, well, I hate you can't be a part of my world.
Right. See, this is why we get along, because we're both in that fantasy world together. Like,
and to this day, I hate you can't be a part of my world. But
that is so funny, because when you were saying that, I was like, oh my God, people have said that to me so many times. And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I'm so confused. And I didn't have two parents to spoil me. Like, if we're not going to talk about it, well, now you guys might ask me, but my childhood was not any bubbles and cotton candy. Like, it wasn't. Like, were there times? Yes. Were there other times I was like, oh, how are we going to make it through this? So I love to hear that. Even though we still have such different backgrounds, we both still, right. Right. But it's because my grandma, who lived in a different state.
True, Jules.
What? Oh, I didn't see what you said. My grandma, who lived in a different state, always taught me, I was, very wise. I was creative, all this stuff. Like, and so I just always listened to my grandma, even though my circumstances said something totally different. Right. My grandma was speaking that truth. Boy, I was like, yeah. So you couldn't, and she didn't have no money to spoil me either. Like, not at all. Okay. But it was her words that she spoke over me every day, regularly, constantly, over the phone, because we did not live together. That kind of put me in that space. So it's funny how, even just, your words are powerful. I already knew that. But now kind of thinking about what you said, like, you lived in a space with your parents who spoke it over you, but also spoiled you. I just was in a place where my grandma spoke it to me, not even face to face all the time. I went over there for the summers, but, throughout the year, she still did. That's crazy. That's crazy.
I mean, and that's why I've never been one to judge others, because, as much as, I hate to say it, child, but, sometimes, my mom was just a little judgy. And where'd you eat down? Where'd she do that? Where they live? What street they live on? All this kind of stuff. But I mean, baby, you could have lived in the deepest part of over here in Texas, and I would have been hanging out.
Yeah, cool people are cool people. That's all. Yes,
I might have left early before dark, but all day long we can hang out. But that kind of stuff doesn't matter to me,
right?
Simply because I think that you aren't a product of where you live or where you come from.
Facts.
I mean, you can overcome and you can rise above. You never forget. Never forget, because that's what keeps you humble.
That's true. That's true.
And that's what it's all about. I mean, I just love people in general. I don't care where you live. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, that doesn't matter at all.
I'm an equal opportunity friend, child.
An equal opportunity friend. I love it.
Yes,
so,
Dolly.
To wrap up, because we all off topic, but we did cover the topic in the beginning of the video. We talked about NACA today, a home buying program that doesn't look at it doesn't need a down payment, no closing costs, no PMI, doesn't take your credit doesn't matter, it doesn't have to be perfect, and they give you an interest rate below the market value. You get to work one-on-one with a mortgage counselor, and you can use NACA to purchase a multifamily home, duplex, triplex, or quadruplex, so you can live for free and actually make passive income. And you don't have to be the landlord. You do take the landlord class with NACA, but you can always hire a property manager, so you don't have the stress of being a property manager, but you can still collect on the benefit of either living for free or collecting money while living for free. Can I collect some money while living for free? Definitely join us on Thursday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, because we will be talking about the kiddie condo loan, which is, I don't even know how we started talking about these kids, but this is for the children. They do need a responsible adult in their life to kind of assist with that process. So we'll talk about that, but it will actually be a home for them. But we'll go into more detail, and it's a home that they can homestead, which is a huge thing. If you don't know about homesteading, come back Thursday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Same channel, Swagslayer Fashion. Make sure you slide that subscription button, click the notification bell, and share this video with one friend that you think it can help. And then we will see you on Thursday. Don't forget, Rhonda is live on Instagram on Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time over at the Pink Diva Studios for Brunch with the Diva. Who is your special guest this week?
My special guest on Brunch with Diva will be Geeky Niche. And of course, we all know and love Anisha. I'm excited to have her join me for Brunch with Diva tomorrow, 1 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Eastern. And tomorrow, well, that's tomorrow. And then tomorrow evening at 4:30 Central, 5:30 Eastern, I'll be on my YouTube channel, the Pink Diva Studio, hosting Hump Day Happy Hour. Yes. And I'll have myself, Terry, Evolving Always Productions on YouTube, and I'll have my sister, Swagslayer Fashion, honey, Tiana, will be hosting that with me. And I'll have Niche as a special guest. I'll have It's Boss C, and Posh Desert Diva Diana will also be joining. So once again, it's a non-script thing. Whatever we talk about is whatever we talk about. Hey, if some of you guys are going to show up, pitch out a topic. Maybe we can talk about it.
Yes.
So, sure. Guys, join us right here tomorrow, 4:30 Central, 5:30 Eastern. Yes, that's it. And I just want to throw this tidbit in that I don't know if some of you may know that I have a plus size reseller group on Instagram. Mm-hmm. It's and we'll be hosting an IG Live May 22nd. And plus sizes. So, I mean, whether you're wanting to buy plus sizes for inventory, whether you just want to buy a gift for a relative, whether you're plus size, I mean, you don't have to be plus size to show up. But I would love for you guys to come out and support that. Again, it's going to be May 22nd. And don't quote me on the time. I'm sure I have it on my feed or something, but I believe it's 12:30 Central, 1:30 Eastern. Yeah. And we are just so excited to bring this. There are so many lives and things like that. And I've bought from so many lives.
Yes, but, you
have. This is just plus sizes only. I mean, plus sizes, we have clothes too, child.
Yes.
So, I tell you that it'll be fun. We'll be giving away some prizes there during the live sale. So hopefully you guys can come out and join us.
Yes. And then lastly, Nisha and I from Geeky Niche will be doing the Swagslayer Reseller webinar May 29th from 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be teaching about Poshmark, Mercari, eBay, List Perfectly, Amazon, and Inventory Labs. And then, of course, I'm going to do a special production, or I guess I should say presentation on Smarketing as well at that event. That's free. That's the free tidbit. It is $25 for the ticket. You can find that in the link below over at swagslayer.com as well. And that is also because we are definitely going to be talking about your specific closet or store. So we'll be able to take a look at what you have going on, where you're selling, or answer specific Amazon questions if you're not selling on Amazon, or if you are selling on Amazon and you want to get started on that. Anisha is a six-figure Amazon seller, so that's definitely not anything you want to miss out on. Her book is also in the description below, Ungated for Cheap. But if you can come to the webinar and talk to her one-on-one, that would be definitely something that is pretty much priceless, because she does do a coaching class. I think it's like $1,400-$1,500. I can't remember the exact price, but it's totally worth it. Like, I killed the Amazon game working with her. So if you can come and hang out for that, definitely come and learn some stuff. Have a notebook ready, because you don't want to miss any of those gems that she's going to drop, and especially be able to specifically ask her or myself questions about the platforms that you sell on. Right. Did you have anything else, Rhonda?
Yeah, I just wanted to say real quick that at 2 p.m. Eastern, It's Boss C will be on her YouTube channel. It's Boss C with her Fast 15.
In just a few moments.
I was going to say in just a few minutes. So if you guys have time, head over to her channel, give her a little support. And I guess we'll see you on Thursday.
Yeah. Bye, Slayers.